board, and I am going to do what I do, and that is to mute you, mute all. You are all muted. Hi, hello, welcome to ISABESTU Team Express Business Zoom. It's me, Debbie Beebe, and I am super excited tonight I'm excited all the time. I say that, but you guys, I'm excited all the time. I'm fired up all the time. I gotta say I'm a little bit more fired up now after spending 3 days with the most powerful women in network marketing from 9 a.m. last Friday morning until, what was it, 6:30, 7 o'clock last night. I am so fired up. I'm invigorated, and my vibration level is like off the charts. So I'm super off the charts. Let's put it that way. And I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to learn from the trainer tonight. I'm going to go over recognition. First, let me just tell you, it is for this week. It's free shipping on Lifestyle Reward, or AKA auto ship, however you want to say it. We call it Lifestyle Reward until Sunday with orders of $200 or more. Hey, that means that beauty afterglow, right? So that's exciting. And we've kind of squished any problems there are with any of that. So if that's what you're getting people started on, it's time to do it this week for sure, and help them do it and pop out some consultants and then show them how to do the same and get them on their journey to make some money with Isogenics. If you're doing packs, the shipping's already free. So, you know, any packs, ultimate pack, value pack, premium pack, and even the basic pack. But if you do basic pack, please add Ice Delights or other snacks. Don't let friends cleanse without chocolate. All right, let's get into some recognition so we can get into our training. Recognition, we had 9 rank advancements last week, and I'm so fired up about that because 3 of the days of last week, we were in an event. So that's stellar that there are 9 rank advancements. 2 of them are managers. And that is so easy peasy to do. All we have to do is open our mouth and make some phone calls and message some people and get people started. Sponsor first, we've got Carlotta Davis, and her new consultant is Judy Etheridge. Congratulations. We've got sponsor Ashley Baldwin. My tongue got too big for my mouth right then. Sponsor Ashley Baldwin, and her consultant is Jordan Blevins. Sponsor Beth McLaughlin, and consultant is Marie DeLong. Sponsor Alvy Shepard. Consultant is Barb Makubin. Sponsor Kathy Smith. Consultant Julia Gosson. Sponsor Brenda Shatino, and consultant is Brian Kovac. Sponsor Chris and Lee Harvell, and consultant is Alvia Alvarado. Now we got 2 managers in the house, and they're both sponsored by Tracy Calvert. We've got a manager, Kathy Smith, and a manager, Beth McLaughlin. So congratulations, and thank you guys for doing the do of being excited, because you know that these people are now on their way. They are on their way, and let's all support them. Make sure that you play full out in ISABESTU in our group. Support all of our teammates, and don't put a thumbs up, a like on any post, because remember, I think that equates to bad sex. So anytime you're ready to hit that like button, I think you're having bad sex. I swear that's what I equate it to. So unless that's what you're after, at least heart it, put a caring, lovey, smiley face, and then comment. And I keep track in ISABESTU. I'm going to give you a little clue. I know when I scroll through, oh gosh, did I comment on that? I meant to. How I know I commented is if I loved it. So if it already has a love on it for me, I don't have to go through all the comments to see if I commented. I'll go in and comment, and then I love it. And then when I'm scrolling through, I know, so I don't have to go back through to see all the comments. So without further ado, I'm fired up to hear from our 2-star Golden Circle Crystal executive tonight. Make sure you're taking out your notepads and your pen, and be ready, because I'm sure we got a fire hose coming at us. And keep your mind and your heart open, and let's give lots of love for Mr. Frank Hernandez. Woo woo!
Thank you so much, Debbie. Oh, man, what a weekend, right? Who had fun this weekend? Where's those hands? We're going to be using the chat box. We're going to be using our hands. I want this to be interactive. I want you guys to feel free to talk to me when I ask those questions. So for me, I'm going to speak from the heart today. Okay, we're going to go from the heart. There's definitely going to be some nuggets I'm going to try to give you guys. As you can, I don't know if you can feel my excitement, but I am jacked, right? I been working all day and just so excited about what's about to happen. Quick question. Who feels a turnaround about to happen? Anybody feels like there's going to be a breakthrough, right? If you don't feel that, right? If you don't feel that, let me show you how to feel that. Close your eyes and just say, what if? What if? Okay, what if everything you've been working towards, everything that you dreamt about, in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're living that life that you worked so hard, 5 years from now, whatever it is. But you're gradually becoming that person that you see yourself being, right? So today's topic, is going to go all over the place, but I want you to hold that statement right there, or that question to yourself every day. What if? Right? We are people, everybody here, I believe that we believe in potential, right? We believe in potential. When we see it in others, right? And when we look in the mirror, we see it in ourselves, right? And so my question is, how far can you go? How far can you push yourself? Or how far can you push that needle every day? Can you take everything that's on the table and get it done? Is it possible? Right? It might not be easy, right? It's definitely a simple thing I said, try to get everything done that day that you set out to get done. And there's going to leave a lot of things on the table some days, and some days you're going to clear it out and ask for more. But you're building a muscle. And that muscle is that dedication that you put towards the business, right? Towards being that person that wants to win. So write down 5 people in your life that you care so much about. Take the time, write it down. 5 people, the closest people to you. And in the chat, just give me a thumbs up when you finish. I need at least see 5 thumbs up. And then we're going to keep going. If you don't have 5, maybe you have 3, maybe you have 10. See 1. Maybe I should open this up, right? 2, 3, 4, 4. I believe we have 5. Yeah, there we go. This is what I want you to think about. Those 5 people. Those 5 people, their voice, your love for them, your passion for them, your connection with them has to sound louder than your snooze button. And I don't just mean the snooze button that's on the side of your bed. I mean the snooze button on kicking butt in your business. You know, there's something that's turned on in me that I just become more and more passionate for those people on my team that want to run, right? Those people, I feel totally responsible for them. And I feel totally blessed that God has put them in my life. So with those 2 things, I feel responsible to God, that I got to do what he told me to do. And I got to give the tools that I can give and the tools that I have, or put people in front of the tools that we have in order for them to win. Now, their destiny, whatever they go, it's on them, right? It's not on me. That part I'm not in charge of. But what I am in charge of, what I do every day. Okay. So who was at the GoPro event, or the women's most powerful women, right? Wasn't that powerful? Right? I want to congratulate you for taking the time to put yourself in front of the tools that are going to change your life, right? I felt for me, although I do self-development every day, and I'm not being braggadocious about that, that's been something very difficult in the beginning to do. And I had to really build that muscle to desire it and to realize the magnitude of what self-development can do in your life, right? I had to really get connected with that in order to make it very consistent versus just doing it here and there and being sporadic with it. But I want you guys to pat yourself on the back, right? And give you guys a big round of applause because you put yourself in front of these tools that are going to change your life forever. Like if you don't feel changed after that, right? You weren't paying attention. You weren't there, okay? Because there had have been somebody, and you could put in the chat, there has been at least one person that affected you. One person that was completely effective in their speech to you. Maybe you didn't like everybody and everyone has an opinion about somebody, right? But there was that one person that totally made you see things differently, right? For me, I can't even say her name, the doctor, and then Coach Debbie Shaflia, so I can't even say her name. But she was phenomenal, and I ordered her book instantly because I knew that the tools that she has will change my life. Now, that book coming to my house does nothing for me unless I read it. And I'm a type person, anybody they know how they learn. Like you might be like a person that needs to listen to a book versus read a book. Like Dee cannot listen to a book, right? That's my wife, my love, my everything. If I'm in the car listening to an audio book, she's not listening to it, but she can read a book faster than I can open the pages, right? For me, I learn through listening, and I become the book instantly. Like I really not become it, but I grasp it. And I try to become it as best as possible every day. I work on it, right? And sometimes I listen to a book 3 or 4 times within a week, right? Just listening and driving it in. Who are you surrounding yourself is the next question. Who are the top 5 people in your life that you're hanging out with? You know, the reason why that event changed anybody that went to it, because your average changed for those 3 days. Those people are crushing it. And everyone here knows we can crush it, right? But they elevated us to that crushing mode. They elevated us with their desire, their passion, their knowledge, their willingness to share, right? So for me, I just took that and I said, I want to be that person. I want to be that person that does those things, that gives, that shares, that puts all the hard work in. You know, one thing I learned is for us to bet on ourselves. We could bet on ourselves, right? We might not be able to bet on somebody else, but you can probably bet on yourself better, right? Like, you know exactly, like if you say you're going to get something done, chances are you're going to get it done, right? If you cannot bet on yourself, that's right then and there, write it down. That's something I need to work on. I don't trust what I say to myself. Do you trust yourself? And when you say it's green, it's green. When you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You know, say, hey, listen, you know what? I am going to enroll 2 people this week, right? Now, maybe that might not be the right statement. Maybe you might switch it over to one of the ladies, I don't know her name, but she said, I'm looking for 2 decisions a day. I want to hear 2 decisions a day. I didn't say if they say yes or no. I want to give them an opportunity to make a decision, right? How many people, put in the chat, can you commit to seeing how many decisions you can create in one day? Right? And then she times it, imagine 5 a day. That's 20, that's what, 35 a week decisions, right? That's over 130, 140 something a month. And just to say you get 10% of that. That's about 12 to 15 enrollments. 10%. Now I know everyone here is better than 10%, but just to say 10%, right? So when I see myself not enrolling 10 people in a month, I reverse engineer it. I didn't get 5 decisions every day, right? So it sounds real simple, right? All I need to do is get these decisions being made in front of me. Now, there's sometimes you can turn them around here and there, you can adjust them with your input. But if your goal is to see these decisions, I think that everybody's business will turn around, right? Who wants that? Who's on this call for that reason, right? I want that, right? I want my business to keep going. I want it to go to the next level, right? Who wants to eventually be a speaker on that platform? Some people don't want to be. It's okay, right? It's okay if you don't aspire to be that person. But if you are, let's do it. Because for me, once again, those people affected my life. Imagine you affecting somebody else, right? That got to be part of your big picture, which brings me to, are you clear on where you want to take this? Right? Are you clear? Or you have a clear view of how far you want to go, right? So let's take the time real quick. Just think of 3 things in the next 5 years that you would like to accomplish within this business. So first thing within the first year, second thing within the 3rd year, and that 5th year, what do you see, right? What do you see in those 5 years? And what I love about what I'm looking at here with all these faces is that everybody that showed up is hungry, right? It's Monday, 8:30. There's plenty of Netflix, new movies out there and video games, everything, whatever you guys want to do, you can do it, right? But you're here on this call, right? And so can you imagine you having a group of people like this on your team that are passionate and hungry and that elevate you to the next level? Like, that to me is one of my dreams, right? So one of my things in the next year, I want to be 5-star in next year. So I'm 2-star. We have 7 months left. I am working my butt off to be 5-star, right? I want to be 5-star. What does 5-star bring me? Well, it brings the freedom that if Dee doesn't want to work anymore, she doesn't have to. She's already at that point. But if she doesn't really want to work, if she goes, you know what, I don't want to do this, I don't want to work my job, I'm done. I want to be home. I want to build a business to 10-star now with you, right? Or I want to. There's things I want to do in my life. I want to be able to give her the keys, because this is my passion. Is that God put me in her life to open whatever doors He has for me to open. Not that she needs my help, right? Everyone understands that. If you know Dee, she could take care of herself better than I can help, right? But I want to be a supportive husband to her dreams, my kids' dreams, right? Riley and Carter, whatever they want. I want to be not giving it to them per se, but being able to help them access the dream and the passion that they have for life, that no person has to tell them what to do, that they have a choice in following their love and the desires and live on this planet with a cup that overflows, and that they will be we want to be an effective family to our community, to the people that we love and we care about most, right? That's one of my passions. So within the year, that's my goal. And I'm sharing this with you to open up your mind, right? Where I was on a call today and I asked the person, how much money you think you could ever make in 1 year? In 1 year, what's the greatest amount you can make in 1 year? And the person said 60,000. Wow, we got some stretching to do. There are people doing that in a week, in a day. It's if you really want it, you can have it, right? And what's the reason for the money? It's not the greed, it's to get back your time, right? Money gives you your time. Who wants time back? Who wants to redeem their time? Whoever felt like, man, if anything I regret is losing a lot of time, right? I was telling Coach Jeff, I said, Jeff, this is a study, is not, this is an average, right? So this is not a full thing here. But they say men spend 45 days out of their lifetime getting ready, as you can tell. We don't take much, right? Women take about 120 days in their lifetime to get ready. They say people now will spend 11 years in front of a screen device, not just a TV, a screen device. 11 years. You'll spend 1/3 of your life sleeping in that bed and 7 years trying to fall asleep. 7 years trying to fall asleep, trying to get rest. How many hours are you willing to invest in order to get back your time? If you just shut off the TV, how many years is that? That could be 5 years. Right? That's more than you need to be in college, right? That's like, think about that. It's just amazing to me. So what I want you guys to do is write down in your notes, say, listen, I'm going to do a time inventory. Where do I spend my time? Right? If you don't know where you spend your time on your phone has an app in there that you can check it out. You can check the battery life and where it is, and it'll give you like how much you were on social media, how much you were on Netflix, how much you were scrolling through Google, whatever research, whatever it is. It's going to break it down for you, right? There's another app called Phone Addiction or something like that, and it'll tell you where you're investing your time, right? You already know, right? Everybody knows where they invest most of their time. But if you really want a clear picture of where it's at, then you can check that out, because you can put time limits if you do have an addiction, and it'll give you a little warning. Hey, listen, 5 minutes are up. You got to put this down. Go back to work or do whatever you got to do, right? So there's a way to create a limit to that, right? And I also want you to create a limit to your actual business too. I know this sounds weird, but you need to rest too. I want you to work hard, set the schedule, do everything you possibly can, reward yourself with a little break, right? Take a break, go for a run, do something completely different, and then get back to it, right? Because those 5 people that we discussed, their future is reliant on your decision-making, right? And that's one thing, when I look at my kids, I really get scared sometimes, because I want to make sure, like Riley and Carter, Debbie said it best, kids are like cement. And that really scared me, because that made me realize that what I do to them and that they're watching. Riley has so many questions. So many questions. And when you learn to be a kid again, ask those questions, guys. A lot of times you're not winning because you're not asking those questions. Now, Riley and Carter teach me how to be an adult. Isn't that weird? And I'm trying to help them not lose what they have, but be able to live the life that they want to live. And if you're able to raise the kids, then you're able to raise your team. And I'm not saying that your team is kids, but according to the doctor, she has not met anyone really that has passed the age of 10 psychologically. That really shook me, because I'm like, man, I've been working on myself, and sometimes I act like a 7-year-old. Right? So there's a lot of self-reflection. Who's willing to look into themselves and just reflect for a moment to see what they got to fix, right? What they got to fix in order to get this team that you're looking for. Because the only thing that's holding you back, the only thing, is not that you don't know what you need to know. It's not anything else. It's not whatever you think right now. It's nothing of that nature. It's you. It's just you. And one thing I had to face is that most people are not afraid to fail. They are afraid of their own potential and living up to it. Right? Who's afraid of, like, man, I know when I look in the mirror, there's a winner that I'm really scared of sometimes. Whoever feels that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. But that winner that you're seeing in the mirror, that's God's reflection looking back at you, telling you that that's who you are. You're that winner. And if he got you to this point, he'll get you to the next. And it's okay. Because you getting to the next point, there's a whole group of your tribe waiting for you to get there. Right? And you're wondering why the tribe hasn't shown up. It's because you're not living to that person you see in the mirror that you are afraid of. And I had to face the music to myself, because who has one moment in their life that psychologically, to be honest, felt like it destroyed you inside? And every time you go through something, indirectly or directly, you remember that moment. Get that book. I don't know the name of the book, but we'll get it on the thread. But that book, one thing for me, for what she said, it made me realize that I have to face the music with that moment. And when I face that music with that moment, and I understand who I really am, then it will allow me to be who I see in the mirror, who's that winner that I'm always striving to be. But the funny thing is, we already are that person. It's just a matter of time for it to appear and us to go through those breakthroughs. So who's excited about a breakthrough? It's so weird being on this quiet end, but I'm going to tell you how to create a breakthrough. Okay. Number one, write down, don't feel to do to feel. Okay. So don't do to feel to do. They got you working backwards if you do it the wrong way. Right? Mark Greer, our amazing Mark Greer, I don't know what time it is over there for him, but he wakes up, I think 4 a.m. or so, somewhere around that in Australia. I'm sure every day is not like he's jumping out of bed to do it, right? But he moves, right? He moves and then he feels, right? You do the feel. And a lot of us are saying, you know what, I'll do the business when I feel like doing the business, or I'll work on me when I feel like working on me. I'm going to backtrack. What are parents, I'm pointing at D and I, what are parents' number one responsibility? To get you to do the things you don't want to do. That's all our number one responsibility, is to teach our kids to do what they don't want to do. So if your parents didn't do that to you, you're still struggling right now to win. Because the hardest thing to do is to do the thing you don't want to do, the thing that sucks. Right? And I had to face the music on the things that suck every day. Every day I have to face that music and go, okay, what's the thing that sucks today that I got to get done? Right? So I'm going to give you a word of advice. Make sure it's the first thing you do. If you could get that done after, let's say you do your meditation, your affirmations, you do everything you do, you do that, you take care of you. The first thing you should do, number one, is the thing that sucks. Get it out the way. And then prioritize those things. Keep going, keep going, keep going. What's going to happen is that you're going to feel so accomplished on that first thing and a weight lifted that the excitement is going to transfer to the next task. And instead of multitasking, which is really skimming the top of everything you're doing and never get anything done, I think the reason why, and I'll say this to you guys, I said this to one of my friends, the reason why women win is because they know how to get things finished. Guys know how to get things started. Confession, right? We know how to get things started. Women know how to finish it. They know how to boom, 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 then just do this, finish that, right? So women win because they finish things. If anything I know is that I admire Dee for finishing projects all the time. I mean, I just watch her all the time. And I learn from her. Because all guys on the call, maybe there's 3 of us, right? 3, I see 4. I don't see the other screen, but at least 5, let's say 5. Let's admit it, women are amazing, right? In this business, we have to learn how to be around women and attract them and understand their language and understand that we're from Mars and they're from Venus. So you need to learn their language. It's not easy, guys. We know it, right? But if they see the effort, they see that effort, they see that you're trying, you get a lot out of that. Okay. So number one, what is it? Don't feel to do to feel. Okay. Number 2, you want to create massive action. Massive. What's massive action? Well, I want you to start thinking about Remember those 5 people you talked about that you in your head? Who are those 5 people you love the most? Right? You're going to be doing this for them, right? So always have them in the forefront of your head. This is your motivation. This is your inspiration. This is what you need to get you going. This is your fuel, right? If you just take the time to give in your morning, have a spirit of gratitude for everything that happens to you, right? Everything you can do, your skin, your eyes, your nose, you're able to breathe, you're able to blink, you're able to walk, there, all those things, right? You give God thanks for all those things, and then you start giving God thanks for all those 5 people individually, how they affect your life. How amped will you be after, maybe even after you did yourself or the first one, right? What kind of spirit would you be in that day if you started that day that way, where you start giving thanks for everything about you and then everything about them, right? Start with the closest person to you, that hour of power there, where you're able to draw that strength from that. And then you get into action, right? And massive action for me is that I'm constantly looking to add value to people, right? So how do I add value? Well, first, I want a long-term relationship. I don't want people to think that I'm one and done, right? I got you, you're in the business, see you later, not touching you, not talking to you, not saying anything. I want people to know that we're now family, right? And that we're cultivating that long-term relationship, right? Now, are there people on your team? Let's be honest, are people on your team that are not running? Yes. And should you spend a lot of time with them? No, not when it comes to business, right? You got to invest in those that want to run now, okay? And then you got to, as you're doing that, you're looking for more people that want to run, okay? At the same time, as you're doing that, you need to have a real understanding of who they are, right? Like I know Yvette. Can I get to know her even deeper? Yes. Does that take time? Heck yeah. Does she need to get to know me deeper and why I'm so passionate about this and all that stuff? Yes. Right? We need to get to know each other. It's a long-term thing, but we're working on it. We're working on that. We're keeping each other close, right? We're accountability partners left and right. We're, hey, listen, what's going on? Tell me more about what's going on. You know, April got her next enrollment today. That was amazing. I'm so excited about her. You know, Alyssa texted me, Frankie, when are you ready to talk? Let's go. I got bragging news, right? And do I know her background? Do I know her story? Do I know what's going on, right? Like I need to know why the hurt. What's that one thing? Can you get in, and I know this is difficult, guys, but can you get to that? Remember that one thing that you said that broke your psychological spirit? Can you get to the point in a relationship that you're able to know that person's one thing that broke them, so that you can help them and feed them the way they need to be fed, so they can grow the way they need to grow? Not easy, not easy. There are times Jeff and I have been on the phone and we just talk business, and there's times Jeff and I on the phone, we cried, right? Because there are moments where he told me things and I told him things, and you think that there's not a bond bigger than you could imagine. Of course, that's what you want to create, because you want to be able to trust each other. You want to be able to confide in each other. You want to know that you got each other's back. You got to know that, why is he in the business? If you think it's because of the money, you don't know him. If you think it's for recognition, you don't know him. You got to know what turns his light on. You got to know what turns your team's light on. And when they see that and they see what turns your light on, you have that vulnerable moment. Who thinks vulnerability is a sign of weakness? Raise your hand. We got a smart crew here. I love it. Vulnerability is a sign of strength, right? Because if you're able to put your sword down and lay it on the floor in front of somebody else that has a sword, and you're showing that you can handle the sword they have in their hand too. Right? It's a powerful way to build your business. Alvia just came on. I just saw, you might be on the other screen, but this guy right here, do you know what turns him on? Do you know what makes him light up? Do you know his story? When you know his story, wouldn't you want to run with him? Heck yeah. That's why your team needs to know your story. Because when they know your story, they want to run with you. They want to run with you. So on a side note, right? On a side note, write down, there are people that want to run with me. Say that every day until you freaking believe it. Because there is a massive group of people that want to run with you. So massive action for me is hitting that phone. I'm going to tell you, I get in that phone and I'm using that penny app, and it's really difficult for me to finish it because it's like there's 100 reach outs, 100 follow-ups, 25 reach outs, and then all the other like ice a body challenge, open boxes, all that stuff that comes through as your team grows, right? I can't even imagine what Debbie and Jeff's look like being 20,000 star, right? Like it's just massive, right? I might want to crash every time it opens up, but the excitement to help these people, right? And what I look at is I'm trying to attack that, but I also have a notebook of the other people that are not on that list that I'm seeing pop their heads, okay? So write that down. You need a notebook. Who did I talk to today that was not in that penny app and wasn't organized there, right? So I give you someone that reached out to me. She was on our team. She is on our team. She, what time is it? Okay. She's on our team and she's ordering, but she's not ordering 100 BBs. Who has people like that? They're just like, oh, do you know what you're missing out on, right? So number one, it's not her fault. It's my fault. I have not connected with her to the point where she understands why 100 BVs is the minimum order. Like it's my fault, right? So I'm working with her to fix that. Okay. So she goes, I'm going to a wedding in October. I need help. No problem. We'll dial you right in to exactly what you need to do and get you going. When you're on a call with someone that's already buying, what do? Ask a question, right? So you want to ask the right question to get the right answer, to get the right movement. So this is the question I asked her. Have you seen any of the emails or the stuff coming through the pages about the elixir? Because on the penny app, it shows her recurring order and I never see it there, right? So she goes, no, I was just about to order something. How exciting is that, right? So now it's in her auto ship for tomorrow. Would that get her to 100 BVs every month? Yes, it will, right? The first order is 146, second order is 103 every month, and then the other 70, 80 will be in there, right? I said, if you're gonna make an extra order larger than 100, let me know, I'll show you how to get paid on it. What is that called? A future peg leg. Set it up, let them know. You don't get if you don't let them know, right? So now she owns a hair salon, and I'm gonna give you guys a good tip here, okay? Anybody that owns a hair salon, set a little booth, something, elixir booth, whatever, with a booklet that shows the before and afters and the way for them to contact you. Get them going, get that person fired up. There are people going into that hair salon that want better hair, better nails, better skin, right? So it's an easy fit. I just got the cricket, so now we got a whole bunch of stuff to do, right, babe? And we're gonna set this little booth up and we're gonna have it there so that person can come in. Anybody that comes in, sees that hair or or she could go, have you seen that booth yet? She needs to do that. Can you see that booth yet? Check that out. And you see, remember, my neck was all, remember, look at it now. Hold on, look at my before picture, right? Remember when I was in your face cutting your hair and all you can see is that, right? It's not there anymore, right? Get them involved, but you got to get them hungry. And if they're not hungry, chances are it's because you're not doing the do. You got to do the do. You got to get connected. I do not know her number one reason that she opened up a hair salon. I do not know her psychological breakdown, that one that she always reverts to, right? I need to get deeper without being too, off, if you know what I mean, right? You want to get close, but you don't want to be weird or anything, right? So our massive action is that Dee and I, we do this. We look at each other, babe, we need one more. Okay, good, I'm working on it. She's texting, she's looking, I'm looking, we're going back and forth. We set our time, we're in it. We are in it. We're reaching as many people as possible, right? We're not always trying to sell, right? We're trying to build that connection. Hey, Jeff, I haven't seen you in a while. When are we gonna have coffee, man? Right? Do that. Have a drink on Zoom if they're too far away. Get connected, get reacquainted, get to know what they're doing, what's going on after this COVID thing. Is your city opening up? Are you headed back to work? Do you want another hour and a half commute to work? Another hour and a half back that leaves you away from your kids? What's going on in their life? Investigate, like Coach says, right? You're a private investigator. Investigate before you can deliver what they need. A lot of times we're going in for the kill. There's no relationship and we don't get the results we want. We get ghosted. But if you really build that connection and say, hey, listen, Yvette, I want to lose another 10 pounds this month. You down? Are you feeling the same way I'm feeling? After we just had a meal together, right? Not before. I haven't seen them for months or a year or whatever, but we had a chance to connect and then say, hey, listen, I love the time we spent together. Can we hit a goal together? I'm tired of this 10 pounds. I need to lose this. Are you down to work with me? Let's do it. Build the friendships. I mean, if I could stress anything from what I learned from this event, is number one, you got to be connected with you. You're your biggest asset, right? And there's a whole section that they talked about that, right? You're your biggest asset, not anything else, not even the business. The business is nothing without you. So you're the biggest asset to the business. Another thing I realized too, and I know you probably understand this, is that Kathy and Jim Coover and Eric Coover are always recruiting, they're always hiring for the company. So if they're always hiring, like Dr. Plan and all these amazing people, why would we be afraid to hire for our business? Right? It's just a no-brainer. If they're hiring, we're hiring. Okay? You want a bigger, the cool thing is you could hire more than they did because they don't need as many people as they got us. But you can create an income that will blow your mind. Right? Now, I guess for me, you really have to write down what stops you. Right? What stops you? What is the point of sabotage for you? Or do you recognize you're in sabotage until it's too late? Right? A lot of us, even they said it before, you have the millionaires, they hit a certain point and then they do it to themselves too. We all do it. So no one's shielded from that moment, right? It's just how close to the top you get to before you do it. We all have the potential to get there. It's up to us to figure out how can we stop ourselves from stopping ourselves. Anyone get to what I'm saying there? So write down, what was the most amazing thing you've done yet in your life? What was the thing you're proud of the most? And then write the thing that will beat that. Because there's something else. Who likes talking to people that go, back in the days, I used to do this, or you want to be around a person saying, this is coming up next. Not a person that's still living in the past. So Mark, I look at Mark when I say that because Mark's played soccer. He's been a professional soccer player, and he's still striving to win different things. He's so, and I say this freely and with the wrong words, is that he's addicted to winning. Who's addicted to winning? Who wants to build the habit of winning? If you're not addicted to winning, it's because you haven't won enough. You haven't won enough, right? When you get used to winning, you get addicted. You just love it, and then you know it's possible, and then you get excited about it, right? It just becomes a habit to win. Eric Tom says, you know, winners win and losers lose. That's just the way it is. But the way to change that is you got to start winning little bit by little bit. So that brings me to what are the things you're going to do? What's the little, just a little shift that you're going to make today? Just that little shift. What's the one thing you're going to do today that's going to put you on the right track? Right? Because if we want to make a 180-degree shift and not be where, you know, not go where we were going and go that way where we're winning and we got to make it about face, how do we make that shift? Just 1 degree at a time. Right? Just 1 degree at a time. So what's that one thing that you're going to do today that's going to change everything and help you get into the right direction? I just want to take a couple of those and then I'll pass it to these amazing coaches that we have. So who wants to go first? What's the one thing, either from what we just talked about today or what you heard over the weekend, that you would like to just, that you are going to just change, right? And I'll tell you, for me, is this. I'll give you mine first because I think it's only fair, all right? Number one, I'll give you 2 things. Number one, I only work with those that want to run. That's a standard, right? That's to be said about any business that you're in, right? Like it's not just about network marketing. If you were in real estate, you want to think about people in that field that are winning, right? That stretch your mind, right? So it doesn't matter where you're at. You just want to be around people that elevate you. I'm not saying for you to leave people. I'm not saying you disown them, right? But what I'm saying is when it comes to work, it's work and we're working. Okay? We could grab a drink or whatever when we're not working. Okay? But that's my shift there. And when I'm prospecting, I am prospecting. I am not multi-shifting or tasking, right? I'm not skimming, going here, and trying to get all these things done. And all I do is touch all these things, but I never got deep into it. I need to make sure that I get that one thing done. So when I'm prospecting, I am prospecting. When I'm reaching out. When I'm building relationship, I am on it. I am working it hard, right? So not being distracted by anything else, protecting that time. Okay. So let's go with whoever wants to start.
I'll go,
Just
Frank.
come off mute. Who's that?
Monique. I don't remember who, yeah. I don't remember honestly who it was this weekend that said it, but she was talking about the love languages and using those and how, you know, we focus on them to use in our relationships with our partners. Why don't we use that with our team? Everybody works a different way. Everybody communicates a different way. Everybody needs something different. You know, maybe somebody needs a little recognition. Maybe somebody needs a card in the mail. Maybe, you know, there's all these different things. And I thought that's totally something that I can do better at, is instead of always communicating in my style, the way I need and want, I need to remember that other people need it they need to communicate it in different ways. And that exact sheet that she put up on the screen, I actually gave that to Rob like months and months ago. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is totally talking to me. So that's something that I can totally improve on going forward, is to learn.
That's awesome. And that's a great book, guys. You should read that book. It's 5 Love Languages, and it just gives you like how to communicate with different people and know how they communicate love, right? So if you're communicating wrong, you might be using your love language and it's not congruent with the other person. No one's getting that you love each other the way you should, right? And so there's a conflict there. So you start speaking their language and you chant, there you go, and then you get your language back in return. Awesome, thank you, Monique. Anybody else?
Yeah. Hi, Frankie. It's Andrea.
You're next. Yes, Andrea.
Hi. So one thing that really stuck with me that I even applied today was I don't do overwhelm. And I've heard that before, and I've told myself that before, but it was very timely because there was something that I needed to say no to today. And I should have said no to it a week ago and I didn't. But that just kept ringing for me, to not overbook yourself. So that way you can stay present in every activity that you're doing. So that was really good.
So awesome. So who feels like they're all day long pouring into people? Everybody here, right? This is part of the business, right? You pour into people. That's the reason why you need to be at the big events, because then you have an opportunity for someone to pour into you before you run dry and burn out. So if you
I'd
have
like to
any
go
reason for the next one, right? For the next event, the reason why you're going to the next event, say this to yourself, is because I need to be poured into too. I deserve it. Before Terry, Reagan has been raising her hand. Go for it. She's
No, sorry, I was trying to unmute. Yeah, on the first badass panel, I don't remember which one of them specifically said it. It might have been Emily, but I don't know. Anyway, she said, if you're not going to invest in yourself, then no one else will. And that's something that really spoke to me because I've been like I'm only 6 months into this, you know, and so like that's something I've been very afraid of is speaking up and bringing it to, you know, people. I've not necessarily been spoken directly to me, but you know, MLMs are a scam and da 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 da. And so like that really, you know, kind of like stuck in the back of my head. I was like, I'm trying to do something like to better myself, to better my health, to better my wealth, to influence my friends, you know, and here I have, not that they said it to me, but like I know that they've said those things in the past, you know, and so when she was like, you know, invest in yourself or nobody else will, I was like, bet. Like I got that. Like I'm here now. So that was a powerful thing that I took away from MPW.
That's the best thing, because the more value you bring to the table, you change the room, right? So let's say if you're a 5, you know, and then you elevated yourself and now you're an 8, right? When you walk into that room, now you change that room to an 8, right? So if you add everybody's number up right now, and then you add yours, you just elevate the room. But if you go in as a negative, that's when you take away from the room. So just you investing in yourself, you're going to see that law of attraction. Okay. And of course, you're going to get people that don't know about our industry. You can always say, wow, that's great. You had an experience, and let them talk to you. And then you can show them the way, right? But I like to connect with people and hear them out and not argue, because the thing is, like, a lot of us, we get defensive, right? We go, oh no, I would never do that. That's who you think I am. You're saying that I would be part of such a whatever industry or a scam or whatever, right? They don't understand. So it gives you an opportunity to hear them out and then show them, hey, listen, let me show you how this really works, right? Because the sooner you learn it, at least how it works, you don't have to be a part of it, but the sooner you learn it and you learn how it works, then the door of opportunity then gets to be open versus closed. So how would you feel 10 years from now when you realized that the way you were thinking was off and you could have been a multimillionaire now, right? So you can flip it, but listen, and chances are they're protecting themselves from that one thing that disturbed their whole life. That's all they're trying to do. So it's okay. Totally is okay. Terry?
So it's so perfect what you just said, because it just ties in, because you know, how we start our day is so important. So, you know, when we get up and we, you know, immediately, you know, give thanks, whether you pray, whatever your ritual, whatever your routine is, but to come from a place of gratitude and give thanks for everything we already have, and then visualize our day and the type of people, what the type of people that we want to attract and how we can give value to them. But it's really important that we take that time in the morning. And even if we got to get out of bed an extra 30 minutes earlier or an hour earlier, so that we can give time to have that awesome time with our creator, and thanks and gratitude, and then spend the time to visualize not just today, but our big picture of what we want to make happen in our lives. It's so huge. And then, like we've all been saying, is meeting these people where they're at and asking those amazing key questions. Get to know where their pain points are so that we can serve them is so crucial. But if we don't do our own work first and figure out what we want and become that person so that we can attract those people that we want into our business that are going to thrive and grow, we've got to do those fundamentals first. And
So what are you switching? What's that 1 degree that's going to make that switch? Because I'm going to give you one that I want you to work on.
okay, so
Okay, you ready? Ready? Before you tell me yours, I'm going to tell you yours.
Okay.
You want to teach. You have a teacher spirit. Why are you not doing more lives? Don't answer. Figure that out. Figure that out. Is that part of it? Is that part of your
No, my biggest thing right now is getting my bum out of bed. I wake up early, but I don't necessarily get out of bed early and do that early morning routine that's going to serve me for the rest of my life.
good?
Yeah.
So let's make that happen.
Oh, I'm doing it. I started doing it on Friday.
Yes. So coach is saying, Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Stop your nonsense. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of bed. I think we have time for 1 or 2. I wasn't sure who raised it. I see April's hand up. Is that right, April? Go ahead.
Okay. One thing I took from the conference is the biggest threat to our industry is not staying true to yourself. And it really hit me hard. And I'm like, we have to have complete immersion. And that was one word that they kept on saying it. And I was like, so I wanted to put that out there because I have to be vulnerable. Like you said, it's not a weakness. It's a sign of strength. So that's what I want to put out there to everybody.
So
and to
anybody
myself.
has on their team, someone that when you're just next to them, you feel their hunger to win. Anybody has that? Like one person, 2 people, 3 people that it's just like through osmosis, you feel their desire, their hunger. When that's April for me. April gives me the chills. There is such a anointing on this woman, and her transformation and her hunger and what she's been through in life. I don't know it completely, right? But what I do feel her. And she went to high school with D, like that was what, 3 years ago, babe? Back then. But they know each other for a long time, right? And I mean, she's just been a blessing. I just want to thank her for who she is and that energy of wanting to win. Keep bringing that, because people feel that. I think there was one more. Was that Yvette? I'm not sure. I saw you here. Yep. Okay.
No, my thing is the event was amazing. And at the end of it, I walked away with, I need to get out of my way. I stand in my own way of my own success. So that's something that I've learned. And the other thing was the overwhelmed. I don't do overwhelmed anymore either, because I definitely get overwhelmed. Those were the 2 takeaways for me. I don't want to take too much time. I know it's getting late.
Yeah.
But I'm just making it short, just to give you what I'm thinking, where my head is at.
Thank you. And Yvette and I are very similar. And I think for me, when I get overwhelmed, is because I say yes to too many things. So I'm part of that reason, right? I'm part of my overwhelm. And so that's something that I definitely, if you don't recognize it, you can't fix it, right? So I've been able to recognize it. Now I get the opportunity to go, oh, the word that I was always scared of hearing from the other end, I get to say it too, right? I get to say no, right? But no allows people to see where your focus is. So one little key thing is when you get a rejection that you say, that's a rejection, it's not a rejection. It's an acknowledgement to their focus. So you just got to figure out where their focus is and then tie that focus in back to where you're trying to do, right? Because no for me means an opportunity to negotiate. That's what that means, right? So it just gives you an opportunity to hear. I didn't listen enough. I didn't listen enough to find the route to the yes. So let me keep listening. Let me keep repeating what they're saying, their words, match and mirror, right? Build more of that connection. And if it's not now, it's soon. It's soon, right? I'm going to end it there. I
I'm
know.
going to say something.
Okay.
Okay. Mine is, and because I want to say, you know, you asked the question. Mine is, I am going to get real comfortable, and I already am, but I'm leveling up. I'm leveling up tremendously on showing everything Isogenics and showing why I do what I do 100%, changing people's lives physically and financially. And I am so comfortable now, and it's gotten so in my soul on talking about changing the body physically and changing the people's body. I mean, changing their bank accounts, because so many people are hurting. So, and we forget right now, and I'm pointing back at me. And I did a live the other night, last night, after that event. We went to the gym late, and I jumped on a live and I started talking about it. And I apologized for forgetting to the people. I said, I forget, you know, I'm so focused and I get so happy about these transformations of the body, but I forget how many people are hurting out there, and they need that transformation in their bank account. They need to be home with their family, they need to be home with their kids. And the world has changed so much. Everybody's working from home. So I want everybody to know that we're a multi-billion-dollar company, and we need help changing people's lives. And it can change your life financially, and you get to stay home with your kids. And I would love you to be part of it. And our mission is to change childhood obesity. And if that's in your heart to make that happen, I want to be part of it with you. And but if you just want a physical change, like you see all these pictures, that's what lights me up. But it lights me up even more when I can talk to somebody about business, because I know more lives are going to be impacted. Boom. So that's my level up.
If I could end with this, and then I guess Debbie will close it, is that before you sell Isogenics, sell your story, right? And when I say sell your story, really tell your story, your real story from the heart, get connected, right? Because stories connect, okay? Get connected, let them know why you're here, okay? And then you can transfer that into something else. But I feel like if you don't tell your story, you're just another salesperson. But if you can just show who you really are, you're a friend that's referring them to a solution. It's a big difference. Coach?
Phenomenal training, Frankie. Thank you so much for that. You guys think you could bear with me about 3 to 5 minutes? I'll try to make it in 3. You guys think you could bear with me? That'd be awesome. One of the things I want to kind of address each aha from each person, just from my 8.5-year standpoint, and from all the events that we've gone through. Frankie, you talked about running with those that want to run. And the word overwhelm came up a couple times. We overwhelm ourselves when we run with everybody. We stay up late answering people that disappear for a month. We take our own appointments that are super important, cancel them, or we show up late to them as leaders. I just want to put this out there. As leaders, for somebody that you haven't talked to in a week or 3, or that isn't rank advancing. They're not out there doing the do. They don't show up on team calls. They don't do this, and all of a sudden they need you. So as a leader, as far as burnout, when Frankie says, I want to run with the people that are running, this is why. Because as a leader, you put yourself last. You get the least amount of sleep, and you show up to everything because your team does 50% of what you do. And we've been taught that over and over again. So when Frankie says he's running with the people that want to run, it's not because he's cold-hearted and he doesn't care and he's leaving people behind. It's because he still has to show up for his family. He still has to show up for Dee. He has to show up for himself. He has to show up for Dee and Carter and Riley, right? He's still got to show up for that. So I want you to really think about stuff like that when you're thinking overwhelm. And then I'm going to go one more realm of overwhelm is an addiction. We allow ourselves to say yes too many times, because it takes us out of the uncomfortable stuff that we're not comfortable doing in our business. Oh, I had to say yes. I had to go do this because they needed me. You know what? They probably would live another 24 hours. But we step out of our business, and what's really going to take us or our family or our team to the next level to go help somebody and get into overwhelm. It's an addiction. So I want you to think about that when you want to level up your business. I want you to think about how many people you're saying yes to that aren't helping you level up. Because the other people that you said yes to, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you build your business. Like I talked about on the call this morning, you got a responsibility to them. So I just want you to think a little bit about that. And then the communication is beautiful. Thank you, Monique, for that. In my early build, I had a man hit my psychological point, Frankie. I had a man tell me, why didn't you email me? Why did you text me? And I said, that's my mode of communication. He said, oh, your husband didn't teach you better on how to do business. We did not get along after that. And he pretty much left because my mouth is pretty big. And I said what was on my mind. But listen to that. I've now learned texting wasn't his mode of communication. So it's very important to listen to how people like to be communicated with, how they like their love language, because just because I love gifts and words of affirmation doesn't mean that, I don't know, Gina Van Dorn does. Maybe she loves, what's the other one? Time spent or whatever, so really think about that and ask people, what is your mode of communication? How would you like me to communicate with you? It's very important, very important. So thank you for that. So I kind of hit Frankie, Andrea, Monique, Reagan. If we don't take our business serious, and I think we hit on this morning, if we don't take our business serious, nobody's going to take us serious and nobody's going to want to join us. So if we are not putting in the hours, like if you were a physician and you were a specialist, but you were never in the office, because I deal with one that's an internist and she's a doctor to the celebrities, and she's so hard to get a hold of. I finally left her. She's a good doctor, but she's not even taking me or her business serious. So why am I doing anything with her? So same thing with our business. I want you guys to really think about that. If people are looking at you and your schedule's here and it's there and you're in and you're out and then you're, hey, I'm back and then I'm not, nobody wants to do business with that. Nobody does. Nobody does. So and then let's see, what do we got? Terry, 54321, man, get out of bed. Get out of bed. You're too passionate to stay laying in bed. So I just wanted to really put that out there. And for me personally, my one thing to level up is my schedule tightening up. And it's running with those that are so stinking serious. Like I'm going through my circle of friends and my circle of business partners and my circle of product users. And I am tightening up my schedule so I can have my family time and not put us on the back burner like I feel like I've done for years, just to answer somebody that shows up once in a while. Like that's my leveling up. And I know that, again, I'm now taking my business serious, and people are going to take my hours and what I have to offer serious, because I'm leveling up. They're going to want to level up. So those were all my ahas. This training was like coming off of that weekend. This training was cream of the crop training. I got so many more ahas, and that's what we all do, right? Because we like to interflect or scrutinize what's going on within us. And I appreciate this kind of training. And I hope that everybody in ISA Best You that isn't on the Zoom, but is watching in the group, I want you to see the level of leadership that you have. I'm speaking to that audience now. I want you guys to see the leader of levelship and the level of commitment that all of us have to you and your product use, if that's all you want to do, to you and your Isagenix journey, if that's all you want to do, or if you want a part-time gig or a full-time with Isogenics, we're here to support you. And we would love you to join us every Monday night at 5:30 p.m. PST, because we've got some phenomenal trainers. And Frankie, thank you so, so much. And that's what I have for you guys.
Thank you.
You want to take us out?
Here we go. I
Yeah.
can't yell because the kids are sleeping, but I'll get us to 3. How about that? One
And then we'll yell the other.
There we go. I'm gonna lower this here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Isogenics!
Love you
Thank
guys.
Frankie. That
Great
was awesome.
job.
Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.
Great training, Frankie.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Alvin Shepherd.
Bye, Brandon.
Hi, there
Bye.
you go.
What's up?
Awesome. God bless
Thank
y'all.
you.
Thank you, guys.